Oh.
So this is, the second time that I've been privileged to come up the front.
Can we sit down?
No. It's not my thing, so I'm going to try and embarrass Dion as much as possible. He's got a lot of years of experience, so it's quite an honour to come and be able to ask him questions, get to know him, get some information that might be able to help myself, my family, especially my family. Anyways, I thought we'd start off with a pop quiz, because I'm going to assume that you all know everything about Dion. It's great that so many of you sat at the front, because we're going to hear your answers first, and if you get it right, you get an Easter egg. Now, I really hope that Dion's a good shot. So if you need to put your glasses on, please do, because if they come at you, they might come fast. All right, are you ready for this?
Yeah, yep.
Do you know the answers?
I don't know. Well, the questions are, yeah.
It's a bit of a worry then, hey? All right, how long has Dion been involved at Wheatland District Church?
18 years.
Oh.
Rosemary and Sharon are the closest.
All right, so you get to choose which one you'd like to win, or you can be generous today. Oh, she forgot to put her glasses on.
Do you want one too, Rosemary? The answer is actually 27 years. I've been at this church. So it was 10 years between like 86 and 95. When I was I was only 3 or something. Dad used to play keyboard up here. Keyboard was over this side then. We've swapped it around now. And Mum used to play guitar and worship lead. And I was sat pretty much about here for most of that. So that was, and then we came back. 2010. 10. Whatever it was. Anyway, back then anyway. So it's actually been almost 27 years that I've actually been at it. So there's a fairly big chunk of my life in this place, including school. All my primary school was done here. And fun fact,
You're right.
Fun fact, I was actually the first student to go all the way from prep to grade 6 at Wheatland. Warrnambool Christian Community School.
Wow, right.
So there you go.
Awesome.
Yeah. I got a flag for that, actually.
Oh. Is it up on the wall still?
No.
Oh,
it's in my box of treasures, which is actually at Mum and Dad's house in Queensland. So.
Very good. All right, Dion, you are heavily involved in this church, as is Lisa, and the kids help out where they can as well. I'm just wondering if the church can tell me what ministries over Dion's lifetime here he has been involved in. Go.
Oh, Colin. I don't think it's a good idea.
Oh, I told them to put their glasses on. Music's one, it's out.
Youth.
Andrea's got a board member. Preaching is another, yes.
He said coffee. Clyde.
He's
how many questions have you got?
He's a bit high on this.
Kids.
Goodness.
Is that enough?
Coffee. Somebody said coffee.
Clyde said coffee.
Have you done any lawn mowing?
I did actually once.
Oh,
yes, did mow the lawn once. Yeah, cleaning.
Yes.
Been on the cleaning team. Painting and the painting.
Many talents.
Done a bit of stuff in here. So there's a bit of
there we go.
bit of sweat, blood, and tears in the.
All right, this one might be one for Russell because I know you two are so close. It's not really for Russell, but anyway.
Stand by, Russ.
What has Dion's most favourite ministry been?
Keyboard, music.
I don't think it even needs a prize, does it? Well,
you can have it.
I'll have this. I'll have it.
All right.
Yes, definitely. It's actually a bit of an accident. A lot of my life, well, even at least actually Lisa and my lives together, have been a lot of things just fall somewhere. You just fall somewhere. So how I actually got involved in music here, I did actually learn piano as a kid with a lady by the name of Mrs. Bowden in Warrnambool here. Did you live with her too, Sharon? Yeah, there you go. Sharon stuck it out longer than me. That's why she's better than me. So that was when I was in primary school. When we moved to Queensland, I didn't really actually touch a piano. I actually played trumpet, actually, for a few years. And then and I was heavily involved in our church in Queensland. I was heavily involved in tech, so that's why I do all the tech stuff with Russell and media and lighting, that sort of stuff. When we came back to Victoria, we were in Horsham for the first 12 months, and then we came up here. Lisa was coming on board the youth pastor. We came up here, and I wasn't really doing too much, but the team that was here then were like, "Oi, Dion, you know how to sing," and I'm like, yeah." So I came on singing for a start, right? That was all right. And then one week the roster was a bit short. "Dion, can you worship lead?" I'm like, "I don't really want to worship lead." But okay, all right, I'll worship lead. So that was okay. I just thought, this is not too bad. I didn't mind this sort of gig. And then one week there was no keyboard player. And someone said, "Dion, you learnt keyboard a long time ago." Or piano. And I'm like, "Yeah. Can you play keys on Sunday?" And I'm like, I could probably pick out 4 chords. All right, I said, if you send me, if the song's in the key of C, which means there's no black notes, I'll do it. So I think Robin actually was worship leading. I got the 4 songs that we were doing, and they're on the key of C, so I could play them. And it was literally just, I don't know, if you're not music, you might understand, but it was literally just like you hold a chord, just. So in music, you have a bar that goes for 4 beats. It's 1, 2, 3. So you hold 1, 2, 3, and then change again to the G or something else. It was very, very simple. And then I did it. But I decided I actually don't mind this sort of caper. And it's not, I wouldn't say it's not a natural thing, but I've had to work. I've actually to work at playing keyboard. You ask Lisa and the kids, like I'm on there, not every day, but a lot at home. I had to work at learning where to put fingers and what to do. So,
are you trying to get better than Sharon?
No, I don't think I could do that, no. Sharon had this ability to be able to read music and play at the same time. I can't do that. I follow a chord chart and then I add music into the chord chart at my leisure. So, yes, no.
At least I don't have to step out and learn keys.
Yes, so that's probably my favourite enjoyment thing here.
I'm a little bit nervous being up the front here, Dion. There's a lot of people. Down? Well, can I?
No, you can sit down here. I feel like there's chairs here. I'm just going to move this pillow.
All right. Hey? Not at the back. Should have worn pants or something, maybe. So you've been involved up the front here quite a bit. Recently I've heard a lot of people suggesting that one day I might get up the front. Please, Lord, no. Please, Lord, no. Do you have any information, assistance, guidance, wisdom on how I would potentially see the church or make myself a little less nervous?
Well, you're very fortunate because at this church everyone's so good looking that it's easy. Yeah, no, I'll tell you, okay. So I was not always this comfortable with the microphone. It's something I had to work at. And I remember probably the first few times that I'd have the microphone, whether it was communion or something like that, I literally would actually look. It's a bit different because there used to be a wall right at the back there. But there was a spot on the wall that was just above eyesight. And I would look at that spot on the wall and I'd look around, but I'd be looking on that level across the back. So people would think you're looking at them. Well, actually wasn't. I was actually looking just above them. And that actually helped me out a lot. So it's tricky to try that out. That you have to find a spot somewhere on that back window or something. But
not quite this level, though.
The clock's probably a little bit high. If you're looking like that, people are like, mate, she got some issues with her eyesight. But don't look at Russell. No, don't. Don't do that.
I just looked at Russ. Oh, goodness.
So anyway, that's what I do. But don't be scared of the microphone. Have a go.
Not sure about that one, but anyways. Got my questions. Hopefully we'll get through them today. If not, hopefully I won't digress.
What time is it? 11:05 now.
What time do we have till? Like 12:30.
2:30.
Ah. All right, let's see how long Dion can make everyone laugh for before we all...
See how we go.
Yeah. What has been your favourite thing about serving at Wheatland District Church? You've been here for so long. You've generously given your time to the church, not just within the building but outside, helping to minister to other men and people. There's a lot of stuff that goes on within the board. So what has been your favourite?
Well, I think this is definitely my favourite. Playing keys and leading people, that's my favourite part. But I think I've enjoyed all of it. There's nothing that I wouldn't say I haven't. I don't enjoy being on the board so much because I'm just naturally not an administrative sort of a person. I had to work very hard at that. But I think this is my favourite part. But what makes this really good is the people that I get to do it with. It's the same with everything in the church. Doing youth like 15 years ago, doing the media stuff with the guys up the back. It's the people that you do it with. That's what makes it good. So it doesn't really matter. Like I've made coffees in the kitchen early on, and I just enjoyed being with the people. It was the people. The people make it fun. So yeah.
Fantastic. So whilst you've been in all these ministries, and I'm hoping it's not going to come to Russ, what has been one of the funniest moments whilst serving? Does anybody know the answer to this? Does anybody have something? Well, that's what I'm concerned about. So, yeah, funniest moment.
The funny story with Russ, I don't know if Russ remembers this, but
it is Russ.
It's a long time. It was quite a long time ago now. No, it's actually not even really a church-related thing, but I'll tell you a story where there was a pergola out over the... So do you remember the pergola out over here? Right? It was quite getting a bit rotten, whatever else. So a bunch of us keen young men decided one day we'll pull it down on a Saturday morning and we'll just see how quick we can do it. And the quickest way to pull something out of timber is to use a chainsaw. So that's what we did. We got some chainsaws in there. There was a few of us here. And when you do demolition work, I've not done a lot of demolition. Dash probably knows a bit more about this. Usually you need to probably plan a little bit and go, right, if I take that bit of timber out, how will that affect the structural integrity of the rest of the building? We didn't worry about that. And at one point we cut something out and the whole thing just went like this. And I was like, everybody get out! So we ran. And then it was like, oh, it's kind of stable. So we went back in again. Anyway, we chopped it all up. But for one point there, I was like, it was quite dangerous. But that was, yeah. But no, actually the funniest thing is another one, we did a youth camp a long time ago. Where were we? It was over Nilway somewhere, out in the little desert or somewhere, wasn't it? In a little lodge out there. And had a whole bunch of youth kids, and people were very trusting of us back then, if they only knew what we got up to. But anyway, we're coming back for Sunday morning church. We had this bus, this old... this coaster bus thing that was a weapon, and I was a driver. Actually, we took it into Warragul at one point, like the other side of Melbourne, to a youth camp. Oh mate, that was hectic. Going through the tunnel in the bus. Anyway, we're coming back to the youth camp, and the bus just starts like making some noises that I'm like, this is not helpful at all. And praise the Lord. And James Howarth is on the bus. Diesel mechanic James Howarth. So in the bus, had the driver's seat. There's a seat at the front and one out the back. In the middle is like a panel, and the engine sits under this panel. So I'm driving along the highway, and I've got James with the panel open, and I'm pretty sure he was on the fuel pump, manually pumping fuel, and I'm belting down the highway trying to get back to church. It was noisy because the engine's running full noise right here. Anyway, James got us back to church. It was quite hilarious. Now, we got back to church on time. So that was one. And the other, this was the most hilarious one. And Lisa will remember this one. Very, very early on in the piece. And Lisa was actually invited to preach up at was it Baptist Uniting? Southern Mallee Cooperative, which is, Baptist Uniting was it together, I think, yeah. Southern Mallee Baptist Cooperative Church in Hopeton. It was part of her role as being a chaplain was to speak at church. So this is all keyed up this Sunday morning, so we go up to Hopeton, and I said to Lisa, do you know where we're... Yeah, I know, it's all right. So we pull up at this church, and we go inside, and we sit down, and we weren't super early, we're kind of sort of, a couple of minutes before church started, and we're sitting down, there's a few people there, and I'm looking around and going, I didn't think these people would be at this church, and whatever else. Anyway, next thing, the service starts, and the minister comes in, gowned up, doing the incense thing, and Lisa goes... We're at the wrong church.
Oh, no.
So luckily we were sitting up towards the back. We actually had to get up and walk out. People probably thought that we were hugely offended or something like this. And then we were obviously late then to the next church. They were sort of thinking, has Lisa forgotten that she's speaking at that church or whatever else? So we actually went to the wrong church one time. That was quite funny. But yeah, so there's plenty of humorous moments. Like someone will remember the time that I dropped the keyboard off the stand. Russell might remember that. But yeah, so no, there's been plenty of fun times, that's for sure.
Did you? So you made it to the church, the correct church?
We got there. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also thought it was funny when I apologised for being late because I went to the Lutheran church.
Yeah.
God's timing, always
Yes.
God's timing. So made an impact that day. I'm sure they all remembered the preach and everything. Fantastic. Being such a leader of ministries, because you have done practically everything within this church, what advice would you give to people of the congregation? I know we've got a lot of new people filtering through. We've got some old ones that might not know where they should be going within church, but we'd love them to all become a part of the family and join in and help in whichever way possible. So what sort of advice would you give to people within the church about stepping up to serve in the Lord's church? And how did you hear his voice to actually jump into so many different ministries and help out?
My advice would be just do it. Don't hang back. Years ago, when I was 18, I had this old Holden Ute that I very foolishly bought. It was going to be this, anyway. And I was doing it up with a guy who was a panel beater fella. He was a Christian guy. And I'd be there. So I was going to work during the day, and I'd work on this vehicle after hours, right? And I was learning as I was going to work with this guy. He's a Christian guy, and so when I was there, I just wanted to hook in and work, right? I just want to get this done. I'm like, randomly we'd be doing it. He goes, "Oh, Dion, I just feel we need to stop and pray for a minute." And I'm like, "Look, mate, I know. All right, let's pray." Jesus, we'll pray. Anyway. This guy talked to me all the time about, I'm just not sure where I should serve. I just don't know what the Lord. And I'm like, he was quite older than me. He was probably in his 50s, I suppose. And I remember at the time thinking to myself, because I was serving in church in Queensland, and I'm like, you just got to do something. You just got to do something. And the really sad part about it was, after I did this car with him for about 6 months, I was in his shed, and I knew the guy for a long time after that too. And the whole time I knew him, let's say he didn't do anything, but he was just so concerned about serving in the right place that he didn't do anything hardly. It was like, I just don't know. I don't know if I feel I should. And so I'm like, just do something. If you think to yourself, I might like actually serving kids ministry, give it a go. You might get in there, and after 6 weeks be like, no, this is not for me. And that's totally fine. I probably will say, if you don't know how to play a guitar, maybe don't join the music team to play guitar. But if you want to learn guitar, then go for your life. Do that. Andrea's a great teacher. She's shaking her head at me. Sorry, Andrea. But just have a go. If you think yourself, mate, like the classic one is the media boys up the back and girls. Sorry, Sharon. You can look at that and you can think, mate, that's just hectic. How do I do that? It's actually not. You can actually learn. And you might think, mate, it looks really cool. I would like to get involved in that. But, go and tap Russell on the shoulder and be like, hey, Russell, do you think that maybe you could teach me a thing or two about it? Now, Russell's very, very talented. Russell's in the industry. So he's very gifted and talented, knows a lot. And he does a really, really good job. But it's not actually rocket science. And so if there's something you think, I'd like to make coffee at church. I don't need a coffee machine.
It's not
Pastor
that hard.
Dash will show you. It's not that hard. So have a go. Actually, there's a scripture. I've got to find it. It's in Peter. So I told you the word of the Lord would come into this. Excuse me, I'm just scrolling on my phone here. No. No, this is actually for
I think
Hebrews.
it's quite important to be, jump in and serve somewhere in the church. With Dion and Pastor Lisa leaving in the next couple of months, it's going to open up a lot of challenging spots to fit within the church. And this is why we just encourage everyone to come in as family and just join into part of it.
Yeah, get involved.
We've got people who serve across at least 3 of our ministries, and it can get tiring. And I know we've got a lot of people who are capable. Like Dion said, the sound desk isn't hard. You might think it is, but with the right people to teach you, like Russell, it will become easy for you to do it. We've got some really skilled people across the church who are just waiting for you to put your hand up and say, hey, can I have a go? I don't know anything about it, but, I want to be able to serve and be a part of the family. And who knows where the ministry is going to go over the next years and stuff.
That's
so,
right.
Pray into these things, ask the Lord for guidance. It's better to be involved than sit back wondering and waiting and missing that opportunity.
I can't think. There was a football coach years ago, and I don't know if it was Carlton. Anyway, remember his name. He passed away now, but his thing was, he'd get in the footy players at halftime, and if it was having a bad game, he'd like, just do something. and I've never forgotten that. And I'm like, just do something. And I found this scripture in 1 Peter chapter 4. And we've all got gifts. We've all got things that we love. We've got things that we do that we're good at. And here it says, as each has received a gift, use it to serve one another as good stewards of God's varied grace. Right? Use it. If you whatever you love doing, there, and it might not even be actually inside the four walls of this church. It could be something else. But by all means, catch up with Pastor Dash or Pastor Kevin or someone and be like, oh, I've got this idea. What do you reckon? But just do something. Yeah.
Great advice. Okay, I'm going to throw it out to the congregation. Who might have a quick question for Dion? All right, Andrea, here we go.
What would be the thing that during your time here that you sensed God saying to you the greatest? A sense of God's... Is there something or some things that where you sense that God has really guided you?
Great question.
Yeah, very deep. Yes. I guess you could say... I heard a guy preaching a long time ago, and he said he'd been preaching for a long time at this stage, and he said, I listened back to some of the stuff that I preached 20 years ago, and he goes, while it wasn't heresy, he was like, oh, did I actually say that? And he said it wasn't bad, but I realised that I had grown. I hadn't stopped then thinking, oh yes, I've reached the point, I've reached the pinnacle. I'm continuing to grow in my ministry. And I've always had to never ever stop, never ever stop. I don't get to a point where I'm playing keyboard thinking, I've made it. I'm now, Billy Joel, Elton John, hi, I'm on your level. Look out. I keep trying to learn or playing new songs and doing new things. And one of the biggest things that's really, I think, I've always known it, but it's never developed time, is my view on... it's not about what I do or anything that I have done or whatever I'm going to do. It's about what he has done for me, right? So I go back to Pastor Alistair Big. He did the thing with the thief on the cross thing, like that sort of scenario like that. It's nothing that I've done. It's about his done. One of my favourite stories in the Bible, I love Abraham, right? You know Abraham? What's really funny though is when I was a kid, I loathed Abraham. I'm like, this is the most boring. You get this massive chunk of Genesis. It was boring, but now I love it. And I think it's Genesis 15 where God puts him in he gets these animals, right? He gets a goat and a heifer, a couple of birds, something else, right? And he cuts these animals. God says, cut them in half and split them up. So you think about there's blood everywhere, right? It's a mess. And then God puts Abraham in this deep trance. He goes to sleep, and this fire pot comes to the... Now, we read that and we can go, yeah, that's a bit random. But when you actually understand that back at that time, when two kingdoms were creating a covenant, this is what they would do. And they would both the kings would walk through between the cut up animals, and it would basically say, if I break the covenant, then may this happen to me, right? But the thing is that, where's Abraham? He's asleep over here. The Holy Spirit walks through. And so he says, if I break the covenant, right, this is on me. And so that's the thing. It's like, I still get this is full on. But that's the thing. That's what I've realised. It's nothing that I can do. It's absolutely nothing. He's the one saying, if I do this, then may this be on me. Now, the real clincher of the story is what happens in the New Testament. Jesus dies on the cross. And so he said, you actually have broken the covenant. But because you broke the covenant, I will be cut up for you. And I heard that story. I did some research. It was quite a few years ago. But it just, I don't know, it's something that just, every year, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger to me, that it's just not about anything that I can do. I love what I do. I love serving in church. I love Jesus. I love the whole bit. But it's nothing that I can do. And it's even a bit hard sometimes. People come to after church and I really appreciate it. And they say, oh, man, I just love the praise and worship. And I'm like, I'm so glad that you loved it. But it's not for you. It's for God. And I don't just, and none of us, Sharon and Rachel, Shai, John, everyone, none of us just flippantly go and pick out the hymn book and go, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. We sit and go, okay, what are we going to do this week? And it's not to big note us or anything like that. It's just because it's nothing that we can do. We just want to give God the glory. That's all we want to do. And so I've probably gone on a bit of a tangent there, Andrea, but that's where I've come. That's what I'm working at every time. I'm just realising that's the greatest. That's the greatest. Yeah.
Fantastic. What a great word there. Over the many years that you and Pastor Lisa have been here, you've seen a lot of change in your life. How have you managed to support Pastor Lisa, assist with running a church, and then over the past 10 years, bring in one child after the next, and a beautiful surprise with Esther? How have you managed to balance your role in these?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty much set some pretty clear boundaries.
Yep.
And I would encourage you and Ash in this, coming into this role. Your time is very precious. You have small kids. When Lisa and I started, we didn't have kids. It was just two of us. So we had a lot more free time. And that was different. The only way to be sustainable in something like this is to have a clear boundary. So one of the boundaries that Lisa and I, when we had kids, we talked about we never ever wanted to, if I use this term, it might sound a bit funny, but we did never want to sacrifice our children on the altar of ministry. So our kids always come first. And I'm really sorry that might upset some people. But our kids always come first. Our family, Lisa and I always come first. So if we need to take time, if Lisa can't make the prayer meeting on Monday night, it's because the family needs us. And I make no apologies whatsoever for that. Because if we can't get our home life right, then how can we give out from that? We've got to have that right for a start. That's the biggest thing. Yeah, it's a strong boundary, you know. My phone, actually, I must admit, it doesn't ring a lot after hours, late at night, anything like that. But if it did, I'm very wary who I answer to. Yeah. Because my time is precious. And once it doesn't mean we don't love everybody and care about, we definitely do. And stuff happens all the time. But please understand that our family. Now, having said that, some of the greatest things about, because we put that in place, is we have this family here who come to the help. So even this week, Andrea, poor old Samuel. Samuel had a bit of a rough week he had asthma sort of a thing. Yeah. And he was home from school, and Lisa had to work on Thursday, and I had to work. I was like, oh, we don't really want him to school. And Lisa just sent Andrea a text, and like, Andrea, I don't suppose, mate. And Andrea's just like, you know what? It was funny. Even today I was wondering, what am I going to do today, Lord? You know, and she gets this message from Lisa. So, Andrew, thank you so much. But it's those things as well. It's not just us support me. It's this whole church family. That because both of our families are all 2,000 kilometres away, you know. We can't just ring up Mum and be like, oh, Mum, can we just drop Esther off or Samuel off for the day while we've got to go to work? We don't have that luxury. But there's been many times where meals have been provided. Massive sort of stuff. But so it's really about boundaries. That's the thing, and making sure that we have that time. So before we had kids, Lisa and I, like if you want to call it a Sabbath, for example, for lack of a better word, our day off was actually from Friday night, when I got home from work Friday night, until Saturday night. We had 24 hours. And then usually come Saturday evening, you were sort of planning the church next day and whatever else. But that was our time. That was our time. Every week that was locked in, that's us. So, yes. Yeah.
Fantastic. Looks like we'll be finding a day to spend as a family.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Absolutely.
Thank you. So, again, many, many years of wisdom you have. What have been some of the biggest challenges you have had to deal with?
The challenges. The biggest challenges, because we're a little bit different in as far as like she's the wife, she's the lady, and she's the senior pastor, and I'm the husband's wife, which means I can get away with pretty much anything in the church.
Might have to come back to you on that one, Lisa.
She gets over it. No, but what that means is I'm just going to come out and say it because this is supposed to be raw. When someone comes and attacks your significant other, and we do it apparently in the name of the Lord, right? Because we're all going to church, we love Jesus. That's pretty hard to handle. We had some pretty rough things. Some of you will know, I'll be straight honest, Lisa was accused of having an affair at one point. Long time ago now, but she was.
Didn't happen.
And looking back, I probably would have dealt with that differently now than the way I did at the time. Stuff like that. I've had... That's the hard part. That's probably some of the challenges. But then... and then bringing the kids into it. So some of you would know, so Joshua, our first one, he was an IVF baby. Right? IVF is a science to the day. When the doctors say jump, you say how high. And so you're trying to run a church and going through all that process as well. And very few people knew that was happening. We didn't broadcast it. Some people knew. But then obviously then we have this child. Okay, now we've got to try and navigate running a church and still work everything with that child. And so that was challenging. But then some of the other challenging things, because I've been on the board in the role of secretary, which was once again a default appointment.
Thrust upon you.
Yeah. And that not actually being my natural gift set. I'm not naturally that way inclined. And so I've had to learn and work it. But it's good though, because in those times, because it's not my thing, that's where I've really had to rely on the Holy Spirit to help me out. And say, I need some help with this. I've got to try and work this out. And so it's actually good to have that reminder that I can't do everything on my own. I do actually need the help of somebody else with a higher authority. But yeah.
So through these times of challenges, have you fallen back or received any particular scriptures that have helped you to overcome the challenging times that you've had to face?
There's a couple in there. One of them is really interesting, and I'll come back to my mate Abraham again. Love Abraham. Does anyone remember the story about where he went to sacrifice Isaac? Yeah. Did you know that? So we look at that now in a 21st century first world lens, and we go, "Oh, how horrible! How unbelievably ridiculous!" Child sacrifice was a thing back then. It was a thing. It wasn't uncommon. It was what you did because you viewed people, whether they worship God, that they were viewed as rain came from the sky, sun came from the sky to grow our crops, therefore the deity, whatever it is, exists in the sky. And when you want to appease him, so we're going to send an offering up to him. So child sacrifice wasn't a thing. So for God saying to Abraham, take your son and I want you to offer him as a sacrifice, was sort of like, okay, he's a son of promise, but, other people are doing it, so why not? And the thing is, you read that story, they have some servants, right? They set off, and then they get to this certain point, they leave the servants behind, and then who carries the wood for the sacrifice? Isaac does. All right? Now, who's getting sacrificed? Isaac. What's Abraham got? He's got the fire. He's already carrying the torch. Now, Abraham's like 100 years old, so let's give him a bit of credit. But the point is, but no one knew the weight that Abraham was carrying in that situation, right? Isaac's got the wood. We think, mate, how ridiculous. And I've had people say to me, no, Lisa should be doing more, you should be doing more. And I'm like, they don't understand the weight they actually carry day on day. if someone's going through something in the church that you're helping them with, you don't just sort of clock out at 5 o'clock and go, oh, I'll deal with it tomorrow. Yeah, as much as you've got your boundaries in place, those things carry on with you. And so understanding, when you look at Abraham, now they got to the top of the mountain, and you think about this. Abraham's like 100 years old. Isaac, they say, was a young man. He wasn't a kid. He was whether he was a teenager or a young adult, whatever he was. There is no way that Abraham could bind him and lift him onto that altar. Isaac had to willingly get on the altar, right? And Abraham's there with this knife and God goes, stop, pull up. I know I can trust you, So the story has a really good ending. But that's one scripture. Another one that I really love is the 23rd Psalm. And Lisa touched on this morning. And the most of that verse is, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not. He does all these things. Now, there's one verse in there that I only picked up on this recently, but I love it, and I'll share it with you. He says in there that he prepares a table before me in the presence of my enemies. In my presence of my enemies, my cup runneth over. Now, there's a full-on meaning to that cup running over part. In ancient times, right, if you went before the king or the king summoned you or whatever for a banquet dinner, right, the cupbearer would serve you. Now, if he filled your glass and filled it once the cup was empty, that was your cue to leave, right? It's like, pack up. Okay, you've had enough time with the king, see you later. If the king, if you wanted to stay a bit longer, he would fill your cup again, right? So he might fill it 2 or 3 times. If he did not want you to leave, he would fill it to overflow. I only learned that a couple of weeks ago. And I was like, how awesome is that? And so these are the things that I come back to when it gets tough sometimes. I'm like, no, my cup runneth over. And so it's like, and I did a whole bunch of research on it. I'm like, I checked it all out because I heard it. I'm like, is that even true? Is that even a thing? And it is. It's actually a thing that kings did back in the ancient times. So stuff like that, that's comforting, to me. So, yeah.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
We can see, speaking with you now, that your faith has grown just by talking with you today. We can see that there's a lot of wisdom. No doubt from your childhood you have grown incredibly. How do you think your faith has grown over the years?
How has it grown? It grows mostly by realising that I haven't made it. And I still have a lot of work to do, as we all need to. And then and reading, some of Paul's writings and going, I've still got a lot of stuff to work on here, which is good, is good to do that. Because like I say, we'll look back and I go, we've done youth ministry and been in series of the church. Yeah, we've got to the pinnacle now. We've made, and that's why, we don't really know what the next chapter looks for us really after leaving here, but I definitely know that it's not going to be like retirement from ministry, because I don't want to do that. But I think that's how your faith grows, by being humble and realizing I haven't got there just yet. I'm still learning stuff. I still want to make it. Yeah.
So somebody this morning's asked me whether or not in the future you will be going for your PMC.
No.
No?
No. When Lisa started as a pastor, had some well-meaning people. Dion, you need to do your PMC. And I said, why? No, you're the pastor's wife. And I said, that's a pastor's husband. And I said, that's right. I need to do it. And honestly, I did actually sort of half start something at one point. I was like, no, it just wasn't for me. And so, no, I don't feel any, and not that I'm, I don't want to say it and like be arrogant anyway to saying like, I don't need a piece of paper or anything like that. It's just, I just don't feel to do my pastor certificate.
And you're so busy throughout the rest of the church.
I've got enough to do as it is. Yeah.
It's good. Looking back over your 27 years, well, you had a birthday on Sunday, didn't you? Yeah, I did. Yeah, what, 21?
21 and a bit.
Yeah, happy birthday. They tried to keep that a secret, but didn't. Thank you, Rosemary, for your wealth of knowledge there. Do you have any fond memories? Like, what stands out to you the most?
Heaps of them.
Russell's coming into this, isn't he?
Yeah, Russell's involved in a lot of them. Oh, gosh, I don't know. There's just memories like when we blew out the back wall here and changed everything like that. That'll happen like in a week or whatever it was. Things like that were just unreal. Even as much as it was a bad time, that time of COVID, when it was like 5 people in the building, and the faithful 5 that we just showed up every week, and it wasn't a problem. It was very, very different. But we come together every week and do church online, and like I say, it wasn't fun. I can Rachel will attest to this too. Singing and playing in front of like nobody is, and I remember we said if only ever like 10 people come to church on a Sunday, I will happily lead 10 people in worship, because it was just better than 0 people. But like I say, it was a tough time, but it was really much a bonding time in that. Mate, it was so many fun times. Like I go back to youth. Like we used to have like 50 kids here at youth on a Friday night. Oh my gosh, that was hectic. You'd be like kids out in the car park. One night the police came in, and I thought we were in trouble. I can't remember what they came in for now, but yeah, it was Sergeant Bill Afford come in, said hello, but it was just fun. Like it was just, and the thing, look, this is the thing, right? I say to people, you've got to have some stories to tell. Like we took Sam and Tim Phelan over to Fiji on a missions trip about 11, 12 years ago, and it was the first time that I think Sam had been to plane. Tim hadn't been to plane, had he? You don't think? No. So it was the first plane flight with Tim, and we're going to Fiji. Now, Fiji, when most Australians go to Fiji, they stay in like the 5-star resorts. We didn't stay at the 5-star resort. We were at the Bible college over there, which was very, very primitive. But it was great. But, and always you've got to have some stories to tell. And I just look back, even before we come down to Victoria, like in Queensland, some of the stuff we used to do when we were younger, we didn't get a lot of sleep, but man, we had some fun at church doing events and setting up. Like, I remember one time we set up this big lighting rig for a conference up there, youth conference, and it was a bit old school. Now they have like electronic chains and stuff that lift this up automatically. We had wind-up winches, right? And we're winding up this bit of truss that was about, it would have been 12 metres long, I suppose, rigged up with lights. And I'm on one of them winding up, and next thing, I'm just like, that's not good. And I've just watched this whole thing keel over in half. And there's about 20 guys out. I'm on the winch on one side, the guy on the other side. And we're like, it was like midnight. The thing was supposed to start the next day. What do we do? And anyway, the lighting guy is a Christian guy. The guy we hide all the gear off. He's like, no, it's all cool. I'll come and bring some more gear up for you. Should be right. We'll sort it out. It's all insurance. But just stories, just like stories to tell, get some stories, get some good stories to tell about stuff, I remember being, going back to Fiji again, praying for people in a hospital, people getting healed in a hospital over there. There's just like, I don't know. There's lots of fun stuff, yeah. Even playing, actually one of my fondest memories, this is not that old, my friend Shai over here, who was never she wasn't very fond of the microphone either, and it was hard work to get Shai to come out to the front.
Natural now.
Yeah, and so I knew that if I wanted Shai to be a worship leader, because I knew she could do it, we're going to have to trick her into it. So we started very slowly.
Going well for getting other people to start leading.
No. No, but it shows that anyone can do it. But no, and I remember as I'd be worship leading, I'm like, right. And Rachel knows this, so I'd come along on a Sunday morning, going, all right, who's going to lead what song this morning? Rachel, can you sing the first verse of this song? Oh, Shai, can you sing the first verse of this song, right? That's how it started. And then it'd be like, I'd send Shai a text during the week. Hey, Shai, what song do you think we should do on Sunday? And Shai would text me back a bit of a list. And I'm like, cool. And then we walk up and say, oh, Shai, do you want to lead that song on Sunday? She's like, oh, no. I said, okay, look, you lead it and I'll be right here with you. And eventually we got to the point where it's like, okay, Shai, you're up. and so of helping people out like that, getting people, releasing people into their gifts, and look at Shai now, like a beautiful worship leader. I think we had to do with Sharon. We had to pretty much just tell Sharon she was going on the roster to lead worship. But but how good is it? Like it's just lots of definitely fond memories.
So you've seen a lot of growth within people in the church as well. Shy is obviously quite memorable for you.
Yep.
How did you feel about that, Shy? Did you sense what he was... Fantastic.
Dude, yeah. Oh, well, yeah, we will. Don't you worry.
Well, Dion's stepping out, Shy, so that means you've got to run 2 weeks now.
That's
so
right.
you might want to start figuring out who you're going to train.
Clyde.
Clyde. Yes. Clyde, definitely.
Clyde,
Fantastic. All
congratulations.
right.
And Angel. Angel's up there, yeah. I've already started with Angel. Hey, Angel, do you reckon you can sing the first verse of this song?
No, don't tell her. She's got to back out now.
She'll know now. She knows the trick.
I hear Katrina can sing too, actually.
Oh, really?
Is that right?
Yeah, we'll be.
Ah,
you go.
there we go. Interesting.
Who's that? Really? You should not have told me that, Reuben. Right, eh? Yeah. Good. This is
If we
good.
just keep going with this, they're just going to dob each other.
Yeah,
in,
that's right.
so-
We'll have the whole. Yeah.
All
What are the holes
right,
on the
all
roster are there?
I know. This just got filled a few there, didn't we? Fantastic. All right, Dion. As a husband,
Yes.
as a leader of your family, and as a father, how are you feeling? I know you've touched on this briefly. How are you feeling about moving into the new season with the Lord? And is there any insight into where you might or what you might be doing?
To give you how I'm feeling, it's definitely very much a bittersweet thing at the moment. Because typically, when someone leaves a senior pastor role at a church, there's normally 2 ways you leave. A, things are going backwards very badly, and your board is saying you need to leave. And so you leave, and it's bad. Or you've been offered a position somewhere else, and so your heart and your mind is there. And so you might have given 6 months' notice, but you've checked out because you're going...
Lisa, is there something we're not quite being
No,
told?
there is not.
No?
There's been phone calls, but no. But yeah, so typically that's usually what happens. So it's very rare to finish up now. And look, and the reason that we are leaving, and we said before, is that we just really feel that now is the time to step aside, because you can overstay your welcome, and I've seen that happen too at pastors, because it's a little bit different us because we don't draw a full-time wage in the church. But you think about a pastor who draws a full-time wage, got a mortgage, got a family. I was like, man, if I leave the church, how am I going to survive? Because we don't rely on it for that reason, it's very easy to be like, you know what, oh, God, maybe, someone check. Now, admittedly, was it the 4th time that you've actually resigned? So it's not the first time we tried to leave, but we just really felt that it was time. It was just time. It was time. And it is a bit, I'm happy because we've got Pastor Dash and you guys coming in, and I'm very, very confident that the church is going to be great. And the best part I love about it is, like I said, when Lisa came on, when we came on board, the church wasn't in a great place financially, and there was a few issues going on. So we kind of had to dig ourselves back out of the hole a bit and start from here. Whereas with you guys coming in, hopefully you can just go from here and jump on the springboard and go for it from there. One of the biggest things, a biggest prayer that I prayed right from when we announced we were leaving, or even before we were talking about, whether it was time to finish up, what was going on, was I wanted a really positive transition, because the history of this church from like 40 years ago, transitionals between pastors has not been great, hasn't always been good. And so it was really important that I wanted to, whoever it was, whether it was Pastor Dash or somebody else, to transition really, really healthily. And basically to have a service we're going to have later in August that will actually be like a handover service. And that so we can leave out the front door knowing that if we want to come back one day and visit, we can come in. Because the last thing I want to do is like go skidding out the back door on the last day to like, oh, we made it, but like leaving a mess behind. That's what I just never want to do that. So I'm happy about that. But the bitter part is also like, oh, we're leaving. So there's a lot of friendships here. Not just more than friendships. Family. Yeah, I don't have Facebook. But I tried once to non-Judah.
You're
but yeah.
probably not of age just yet, are you? It's
No,
like
I'm probably too
18,
young for it. So.
18 or something.
But yeah, and I'll really miss playing keyboard and leading worship. I'll really miss that. But it's okay because I'm sure there's other keyboard playing opportunities around and different things.
Angel.
So Angel's have to step up there. So, but yeah, so that's and then yes, we honestly really don't know. There's no other church or anything like that we're going to. People have said to us, "Oh, you should start a church in Donald." No, sorry. Ruben's like, yes, no, we don't really. To be honest, the way actually at the moment we really feel for this time season is for our family, just to hang out with our family. Because your kids, and you guys will understand this, so you already do, your kids give a lot as well. Every single Sunday morning, we're up and early out of the house. And I don't begrudge it. I think it's really great because that's when I was my kids' age, and I was playing keyboard here, we were the same. We were up, out of bed, out of the house Sunday morning. And we did it twice on a Sunday. We did it at 10 o'clock in the morning and 6 o'clock at night. And so I don't begrudge it, but I really just feel for the next few years, whatever it is, that I just really want to invest in our kids, and whatever that involves, wherever we end up, I don't, we've got a few possibilities I won't elaborate on, but no, it's. Yeah.
I was hoping you would.
Yes. No.
That's all right. So I guess just to wrap up. We've been going for 3 hours
it's
now.
Good. It's well,
Gosh,
geez, sorry.
That's been real quick. Is there any words of encouragement for the church that you can think of? Just a final note for today.
Love on your pastors. That's what I would say. Just love on these guys. The way that you've shown to Lisa and myself, please do the same for Mel and Dash. Because it's not easy. They are... These guys are actually human. Do you know, you know it's Paul in the Bible, right? And we put Paul on this pedestal up here, his pastor. Do you know in one of his last writings to Timothy, he actually writes, "Oh, Timothy, when you come, can you bring my coat? Because I'm going to get cold." We all got just normal problems, right? Pastors are not superhuman. Paul wasn't superhuman. They feel the cold. And at some point, they're going to need a jumper. So I said, bring that jumper. That's what I would say. Yes, there'll be things, and I know that there are things that we've made decisions and people are like, "Oh, I'm not too sure about that." That'll happen, but trust God. Trust God. That's the thing. Some of the worst things. This is how do I say this? I'm going to say it. Don't be a pain in the neck. Be careful what you say. The church walls have ears, and you would be amazed what comes back to the senior pastor. We hear it all. Don't think the comment is not come back to us. Okay? We hear it. But what I would say is if something happens, if you hear something, if something happens on a Sunday or at the service, please don't go to Facebook. Please don't go and ring up your friend and be like, "Did you see what Pastor Dash did on Sunday?" If something has upset you, first things first, take it to Jesus. I'm not really feeling comfortable about this, Lord. Can you help me out? Now, if you're not feeling any comfort in that, go and speak to Pastor Dash. Or if it's Pastor Kevin or somebody, and say, "Hey, I'm just wondering, you said this on Sunday, right? Please don't go and bag out the senior pastor, because that is the worst thing." That's exactly what the enemy would want you to do. The enemy wants to bring disunity, right? That's what he wants to do. And we are all human beings and we make mistakes. And there's stuff that I have said and done and I'm like, I shouldn't have said that. I reacted in a moment and I shouldn't have. And I've had to apologise to her before. And I've done that. But please don't do it, because, and I won't lie to you, it is a bit hurtful sometimes. It is hurtful. We're human beings. And I hear what comes out. It's like, did you hear about this? I'm like, no. But I'm like, okay, cool. That's great. Off we go again. Because I guarantee you things will happen in this church. Dash and Mel are great people. Chris on the board, Pastor Kevin and Wendy are still here. Russell's on the board, Wendy's on the board. These are really great people, but we are human beings. We will say things that might be not quite right. We don't mean to. The heart intent is not to do that. And so all I really would ask is that going forward, please remember to keep unity at the forefront of your mind, because the Bible says where there is unity, I will command a blessing. I will do it. And we want this church to be a blessed church. Amen? Yes. That's what we want. Okay.
All right, thank you, Dion, for your words of wisdom today.
Oh.
There's so much to be taking in for both of us and also for the church. We do wish blessings upon you guys.
Thank you, Mel.
Pray for blessings over you and your family. And we do hope that you really can connect as a family, be there for your kids, help them to grow and nurture them, and just, have an amazing time uncovering who you guys are outside of the church.
It will be a bit different, but that's cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mel.
Can we give Dion a round of applause?
Oh,
And we'll hand over to Lisa. Thank you.
Thank you. Who enjoyed that this morning? Did you learn anything? I learned a couple of things. There's an Easter egg down there if you still want one. One thing is we have gone quite a bit over time this morning. So if you can get your kids from Kids Church straight away, and please give the kids team a huge thanks. And if someone wearing a Kids Church T-shirt comes out looking for a coffee, I think you should let them go in front of you. They've had your children all morning and my children all morning. But I think that's been a great time of hearing particularly Dion's heart behind things and learning. And the purpose of doing that was so that you would understand and be mindful of how Mel will be feeling in the next season as well, to get behind them. And hopefully the same as our family, that you'll be all like aunties and uncles and grandparents that it has been for our kids, which has been super special, like Chris signing our kids in and out of Kids Church. I mean, you might think that that's small and insignificant, but it's actually very big on a Sunday. So just pray and ask God, how can you best support your pastors? And he'll show you as well. Mine is Filipino food, Reuben. I think we talked about that. Hasn't come yet, but I thought I'd just give you that reminder, Reuben. Anyway, God bless you, church. Go and grab your kids from Kids Church. Join us for prayer meeting tomorrow night, but stick around for coffee as well. Bless you, everyone.